Thonians. My heartiest welcome to you all once again to the Value Education class. Today I would like to reflect together with you on the topic called Respect for Elders. Respect is a manner, a good manner. I believe many of us were taught the importance of manners when we were young. Like always show respect for your elders is one of those good manners we hear it time and again. And what does respect look like? Respect usually involves reverence and gratitude. When we respect someone, we appreciate them and think well of them. We act kindly and politely towards them. We listen when they have something to say. We look them in the eye and give them our attention. We also might adopt a heart of service towards them, offering them our seat, opening the door for them, or rendering our help when they are required, and so on. And to respect someone deserving our respect is also a virtue. Therefore, treating our elders with respect may sound silly, but very important. Why is it important to respect older persons? Or why do older persons deserve respect? There are a series of reasons. Our elders are a form of God on this planet which we live in. They are part of our lives and families. All of us, without exception, in one way or the other, will have some connection with older persons, be they our own parents, grandparents, our aunties and uncles, our teachers, our brothers and sisters, or other acquaintances. Our elders deserve respect because they have loved us, cared for us, and made many sacrifices for our good. They have lots of experiences. They have already been through the phases we are experiencing today. They know more about this world than us. They can teach us about many things in life, about enduring change and handling life's challenges. They can offer us guidance, good counsel, and ways to lead a successful life. They are a treasure of historical information, and giving them respect can help us to maintain a better communication with them to achieve such knowledge. So, respecting our elders can help us to instill moral values in generation of our age below. Our older persons are really amazing. They have achieved everything without much comfort, such as what we are enjoying today. So it is important to note that our elders were not born elders. They were young like us and now grown up old. Few years hence, we will also grow older. Learning to respect seniors can also help us deal better with our own aging later in life. There is a good saying, if today you will respect your elders, your present and future generations will carry those values and will learn to respect you as well when you will grow old. And our country, India, has an ancient culture in which respect for elders holds prime position. For example, when we speak Hindi, we will we often add G to the end of an elder's name to show respect and reverence. Similarly, in most of our local dialect too, we have some loving terms with which we address our elders respectfully. So, showing respect for elders in society is a way of showing that we value them and are grateful to them. Hence, on 14 December 1990, the United Nations General Assembly designated October 1st as the International Day of Older Persons. From then on, every 1st October each year is observed all over the world as the International Day of Older Persons, a day to honor and to appreciate the contributions that our older members make to the society. And elders feel honored when you appreciate them and offer assistance to them. It is therefore our bounden duty to honor and respect them, and to help them when needed, especially when they are old, sick, and weak, incapable to handle things on their own like before. Of course, some elders might be strong, healthy, and vibrant as people half their age. However, as a sign of respect, a younger person might still offer them their seat or hold their door as a way of expressing courtesy and regard. And when we lend our time to listen to older person's stories or helping them in the times of need, we can make the world a better place. And so we should always respect our older persons. I remember a saying that goes, a disrespectful person never earns respect for himself. And another, respect your elders and the world will respect you. Yes, a person who respects others will gain respect in return. A father who has taught his son to respect his grandfather can be sure that he will earn the respect of his grandchildren in the future. But unfortunately, nowadays, our older persons in our society are not seen with much respect. They are unable to get love, affection, and respect that they truly deserve, even from their own children. I myself have come across this fact. One day I visited a family. It's a well to do family, having 2 stories building. On coming out of that family, I noticed a small hut in one corner of the courtyard. I happened to ask whether it is a dog shed. But I was shocked and sad at the same time to hear from them that it is a place where the old father stays. They said, our father is very difficult. He is so smelling and dirty, really miserable, but we don't want him to stay together with us. We feel ashamed of him. So this is a sad reality. And I'm sure some of you have come across a page recently in Shillong Times about a 65 years old man who filed complaint against his 2 sons who abandoned their parents. He said, despite financially funding their education, his 2 sons were not keen to look after their aged parents or even paying them a visit. So, like this, there are many cases even in our own country and our own places. Here too, you see in this picture the grim reality. How many elderly people, after retiring, are forced to live a life of humiliation, abuses, and isolation. Besides this, there are many teenagers today who think being rude is fashionable. They think that rude and aggressive behavior is considered smart. They talk back when corrected. They push the elderly who walk slowly and never even consider lending a helping hand to them. Remember, my dear young people, no society considers all this as good or polite behavior. Instead, many society will condemn such behaviors because respect for elders should remain one of the most important characteristics of any culture. So let us never forget that your elders are the reason why you are and who you are today. It is really difficult for us to imagine life without elders. Therefore, it is very important for every individual to respect the older persons in the family and in the society at large. Now, let us watch a video clip made by NDTV from some experiments to show how elderly are disrespected and respected. This will help us to know ourselves as to what is our attitude and approaches to our elders. Let's watch.
How much do we, the people of India, really care? Hello and welcome to What's Your Choice? Thank you for your amazing response to our fight against VIP culture in India. Thanks to your pressure, almost every candidate in the Delhi election signed a pledge and they'll not even use any VIP facilities. In fact, if we keep up this campaign, the Delhi government could be a totally Lal Batti free government for the first time ever. A great example to set for all other states of India. Now, while we keep fighting for a VIP free India, not just Delhi, in this show today, we move across to another important issue. One area in which India is said to be ahead of most other countries, especially ahead of developed Western nations. It's the way in which we respect and look after our parents and the elderly. It's something we in India are proud of, and rightfully so. There is one worry though. Many people now say that we in India used to respect and look after our elders. Apparently that may be changing now. With the fast-paced and self-absorbed lifestyle and the careers of young Indian men and women, this Indian characteristic of caring and respect for the elderly is said to be perhaps fading. Is that true? Does India care and respect its elders less than before? Are we becoming a bit like the West with their nuclear families and their elderly confined to old people's homes? What do you think? Well, we decided to test whether this is true or not with a series of real-life experiments in which we use actors and hidden cameras and see what the general public react and how they react to that. It's basically reality theatre. For our first test case, we travel across to Kolkata. Set up our hidden cameras at a supermarket. None of the shoppers are aware of our actors. This elderly gentleman who's pretending to be a cashier, and this young boy is also an actor.
ভাই একটু আসছে মেশিনটা স্লো চলছে একটু মেশিনটা তো
মেশিন কোনদিন স্লো চলে এই বয়সে কি করতে আসো কাজ করতে এত বয়স হয়ে গেছে কি করতে কাজ করতে হবে চশমা কই
আরে ভাই একটু সময় দাও না আর একটু করে ফেলছি লোকও গেছে
কি পুরনো ভাই
হচ্ছে ভাই একটু 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 অপেক্ষা করো ঠিক হয়ে যাবে আমার
কোডিং লিখছে না বসে বসে
আর একটু সময়
The cashier is taking ages, so going to another counter is tempting. But the young man, who's not an actor, refuses. He tells us later that he didn't want the elderly cashier to feel insulted. So he stays on and waits patiently.
এই বুড়াটা তো বুদ্ধি আছে বলো না এই তোমরা কি একে কে রাখে গো এই বয়সে কাজ করতে এসছো আপনি অন্য কাউন্টার আমার আর্ধেকগুলো পড়ে ফেলেছি করুক না সেটা ওনারা বুঝে নেবেন না পুরো তখন করে ফেলবে, বুঝিয়ে নিয়ে দেবে, কি বুঝে করবেন আমার চলে যান না, কোনো তো কোনো কাজ এখন আমাদের কি হবে ছিল, দেখছেন তো প্রবলেম হয়ে গেছে মেশিনে, কি করা যাবে এখন? মেশিনে কোনোদিন প্রবলেম হয়? যাই যখন করে ফেলেছেন, বয়স্ক মানুষ কি করবেন, এই বয়সে কাজ করছে, এই বয়সে কাজ করতে আসবে কেন, সেটাই তো সব থেকে বড় কথা।
নিশ্চয়ই ছেলে আছে বাড়িতে, তাই জন্য
কি করবে এই বয়সে, তাও তো করে খাচ্ছে না।
badly behaved. I think he must be having a son like you only. The way you are behaving, it shows what kind of a person you are.
দেখুন ওটা ফাঁকা আছে, ওটা চলে
Go to another counter. I'll be telling you that in the past 10 minutes.
আরে এত এত বয়সে এই বুড়ো ভাঙের পাল্লা করে কি করবো আমি? আপনি আমার ফাঁকা আছে, চলে যান।
He must be thinking his father like this.
আমরাও তো দাঁড়িয়ে আছি না, আমাদের তো পাড়া আছে, আমরাও দাঁড়িয়ে আছি।
অন্য কাউন্টারে যাও না, কতগুলো খালি কাউন্টার আছে, যাও।
বয়স্ক মানুষকে বলে তো আমি এই কাউন্টারে প্রথমে এসেছি, কেন তাহলে ওনাকে এই কাউন্টারে বসানো হয়েছে?
তাহলে তুমি দাঁড়াও, দাঁড়িয়ে থাকো, বক বক করো, show your culture, keep saying it. Show everybody what you are made of.
প্রথম কাউন্টারটাকেই তাকে ওনাকে কেন বসানো
দাঁড়িয়ে
হয়েছে?
থাকো, তাহলে আর বকে যাও। You can show people তুমি কিরম ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড থেকে আসছো।
দেখাইতে যাচ্ছে ওখানে প্রবলেমটা সিস্টেম এরা সাইন দেওয়া।
দেখতে পাচ্ছ যে একটা অসুবিধা হচ্ছে ল্যাপটপে। মেশিনে কোনোদিন হয় না, তুমি মেশিন কোনোদিন কাজ করেছো?
কেউ হলে পরে এই
Why the hell you are shouting unnecessary?
আপনি
It's a
এখানে
system
দাঁড়িয়ে
problem,
আছেন।
not his problem, Kadim. It's not his problem. It's a system problem. Don't
না,
care
না,
about
ওর
old
নাকি
person.
বলছে
He's
কোনোদিন
either a father.
প্রবলেম হয় না।
উনি তোমার বাবার বয়সী. Why are you shouting at
আপনি
him?
ওনাকে বুড়ো ভাম বলছেন।
Why are you shouting at him? Wearing a headphone on your ear. It doesn't seem that you are a belong from a good family shouting at him.
না না সেটা তো আমি বলছি না,
Then why are you shouting at him? না পুরো বাম বসে আছে. ওনার কাজ উনি করছেন. সিস্টেম প্রবলেম হয়েছে. তোমার প্রবলেম না এটা. তুমি অন্য কাউন্টারে যাও. Go to a different counter. Why shouting at him?
at least he has better education than him.
Why they are shouting at him? What product you have? Your silly product. Go and bill at that counter. Understand?
আমি ওই কাউন্টারে কেন যাব?
Then shut up and stand properly. Behave properly. Behave properly. You can't shout at an old person.
কেন করতে পারবো না? কেন
কি জন্য করবে তুমি?
তুমি আমার লাইনে চলে এসো, বুঝেছি?
কি জন্য করবে তুমি?
অন্য জিনিস,
একটা গরিব লোক, একটা বয়স্ক লোককে বলছেন বুড়ো ভাম দাঁড়িয়ে।
কি প্রোডাক্ট তোমার? রেড বুল and oil and brew. কতগুলো লাগে তোমার?
তোমার আমার লাইনে যাও, আমাদের সবাইকে অপমান করো না এরকম। যাও।
ছি,
ঠিক আছে আমি কাজ করুন, কোনো প্রবলেম নেই।
you are from a good family. Shows how you are.
Excuse me, sir, this is a TV show going on. He's an actor and he's an actor too.
He was shouting on the old person. It was not his fault. The system fault was going on. That's what. But the customer is shouting in a ALY and nothing else. It doesn't look good. Whenever I see something, it will raise my voice. That's what. I don't wait for others who will raise voice and not.
I want to tell people to start opening their mouth. Whether it's a small thing, when you see a child being abused on the road or being treated badly, whatever it is, just raise your voice. Because I think that's where the change will come. When we start opening our mouths and doing something about it.
Saw what was going on and she told me to move on to the next one, but I told her that no, we should stay here and help that person because you see, I don't have my own income. I know how it feels when someone incomes a little amount of money. So he was an old person. Actually, he teaches me that in that age, if he can do something for his own, then it's a duty for us young people to help those persons. So actually, he was abusing him. So I just couldn't stand the sight of it. So yeah, actually, we should treat every people like they are in our own family. You know, I took that gentleman like my own grandpa. So that's why I thought he is actually abusing my own family member. If everybody just come together, then this world can definitely be a better place.
After all the shoppers have changed, we set up our experiment once again.
বুড়ো হাবড়া লোকদেরকে কেন কাজে লাগে কে জানে?
আপনার দাদু ঠাকুরদার বাবা নেই, ওঠুন না প্লিজ, ওঠুন ইয়াঙ্গার গায়, আপনি এখানে আসুন না, come here,
অর্ধেক তো এখানে করে ফেলেছি।
stop harassing him.
একদম সময় নেই দাদু, একটু তাড়াতাড়ি করো, আজকে পুজোর দিনে এরকম ভাবে দাঁড় করিয়ে রাখো না। একটু প্লিজ তাড়াতাড়ি করো।
position, right? I have been waiting patiently. That man was on lunch or having coffee. I stood there for 10 minutes and not said a word.
I have your bag.
I'm getting harassing right now.
You're not you're not being harassing. We are offering you to go to our line.
Come to our line. It will be done in 5 minutes.
Do
Or you
not
can wait
do
here
this to
another
this
10
old man. If it was your father or grandfather, what would you do? Would you be yelling like this? You would not. Let him cancel it out.
let him cancel.
Babu,
আপনি এটা ক্যান্সেল তো করতে পারবে
cancel.
নাকি বয়সের কাছে বলে সেটাও পারবে না বলো সিস্টেম স্লো এখন
Come on, let's go. Come on.
Let's go.
Cancel. Let's go.
Let's go.
You did a good
I
job.
would step up and smack. And he was getting so agitated, I was going to calm him down. Oh, it's okay.
Ma'am, would you?
No, I don't want to make any
Smile,
more
it's candid
comments.
camera.
That's right. No, I don't want. Thank you,
We'll
honey.
come back to you. We'll come back to you. You
I'm getting
compose yourself.
emotionally upset right now.
Yeah. It was too much for you.
It is. If it was my grandfather or father, I would have died and continued doing that to them. Listen, I'm sorry. I was so frustrated with this young man. I was going to smack him. I'm sorry. This happens all the time, I know. Chop my heart, I'm done. Kintu, keep our I'm so sorry. I was going to smack him.
We wanted to actually diffuse the situation and try to separate them, and just try to say, look, you can't behave that way, that's not proper, and say, come to this line. It was really a way to cool the situation down. Yeah, I think anytime you see something, an injustice of any kind, you do need to speak up. You need to, because that's how the world changes, right? It comes from within you. So if you speak up, if you see something wrong, then it changes the situation. People learn that are around. The gentlemen that are standing around us will also learn the lesson. They'll say, oh, okay, this is not right. I can speak up too. So definitely take the opportunity to speak up.
বয়স হয়ে গেছে দাদু এই বয়সে যদি কাজ করো হ্যাঁ ঠিক বয়সে কাজ করলে পরে এই বয়সে আর কাজ করতে হতো না
We set up our experiment once again.
এই বয়সে কাজ করতে এসছে হ্যাঁ
Not a nice thing to say. He's working for himself.
হ্যাঁ তবুও দূর
The sense of outrage among other shoppers is palpable. It's time for this rude young boy, our actor of course, to be taught a lesson in life.
Excuse me. আপনিও তো একদিন বুড়ো হবেন। এইভাবে বলবেন? এইভাবে বলাটা
এতক্ষণ ধরে
Sorry,
দাঁড়িয়ে রয়েছে
এইভাবে বলবেন? বুড়ো হাবড়া এইভাবে বলাও ঠিক।
This is amounting to Gali Dawa.
একটুও কি কিছু
Remember,
শিক্ষা
you will
নেই?
also meet this age one day.
Probably.
God,
Probably.
God permit.
ছি ছি ছি।
You
কোনো
are
শিক্ষা
educated,
পাননি।
isn't it? You are
এইভাবে
educated.
বলছেন।
You consider yourself educated. And this is how you
এইভাবে
deliver.
ওনার জায়গায় আপনাকে 1 মিনিট একটু প্লেস করুন।
Just think of it. Give it a thought. Give it a
Excuse
thought.
me. You think yourself to be too smart?
Give it a thought. Please, sir.
What are you?
অনেকক্ষণ
আপনার তো
থেকে শুনছি।
বেসিক শিক্ষাই নেই আপনার।
না, এটা তো
Just
বললে পরে
because
হবে না।
বয়স
You
হয়েছে।
can't object anything. You did utter these things.
এরমভাবে বলবেন
You
না,
went on
চুপ
uttering
থাকুন না।
continuously.
আমরা অনেকক্ষণ ধরে শুনছি। আপনার খুব বিরক্তি আসছে।
তো বিরক্ত হব না
বিরক্ত নিশ্চয়ই হবেন, but
ওই
there is a way of
there's a
expressing.
way to express. বুড়ো হাবড়া।
বাবা ঠাকুরদা দাদু আছেন।
ছি ছি
হ্যাঁ?
ছি।
এত তর্কের মধ্যে যাবে না
ছি ছি ছি। আপনার বাবা নেই, আপনার দাদু নেই।
ভুলে গেছে সরি বলুন সেটা বেটার
না না এখানে সরি
Can't
হওয়ার
you
তো
say
কিছু
sorry?
নেই
Sorry,
Oh,
you
you can't
better
say sorry.
be sorry.
আমি ওনার কাছে
You
সরি
better
বলতে
be
বলছি
sorry.
আপনাকে। সরি বলুন,
Respect
আমাদের
me.
সরি বলতে বলছি না।
না না আমি কেন হবে
কেন?
আমাদের সরি বলতে বলছি
I
না।
just wish you understood.
You can't
my man.
understand. কেন এত লোক বলছে?
বোঝারই
That means,
ক্ষমতা নেই।
should I call you insane now? Can I call him insane now? He can't understand what we are saying.
আপনাকে সামনে দাঁড়িয়ে আপনি সমানে বলে যাচ্ছেন।
You understand
সে
the meaning
বুড়ো
of the word
হাবড়া, এই
insane?
সে। তোমার নিজের বাপ দাদু কেউ নেই?
তাদেরকে এইভাবে বলবে?
আবার জিজ্ঞেস করছো সরি কেন বলবে?
The TV show going on.
Please.
Sorry. Sorry.
I don't want any publicity.
Don't make a show
This
of
is
it.
basic
Don't
courtesy.
make a show of it.
Basic
যদি
courtesy,
পারেন
please.
এদেরকে পাল্টান। just-
Basic courtesy.
শুনুন আমি অনেকক্ষণ থেকে এখানে লাইনে দাঁড়িয়ে রয়েছি। listen. কে কি আমি জানতে চাই না. We are human beings. That's the bottom line.
Ma'am, this is exactly what you're trying to
Human beings. You're asking me can he's laughing at the 10 এর চাটি মার দিচ্ছে করে.
It was an act.
Okay, now I get you. Oh my god, oh my god, sorry.
No, fantastic.
We should have mentioned that.
Now mention করলে this reaction he wouldn't have got.
Yes.
Okay, ও হেসে দিয়েছে. Okay.
Ma'am, I'm looking for people
Please
like
think
you,
of it.
you know.
Okay.
When you cool down, you think
I'm
of what
sorry.
you said.
I'm sorry ভাই, তুমি আমার ছেলের বয়সী.
একদম
আমি পারিনি কন্ট্রোল করতে.
একদম না, এই রিঅ্যাকশনটাই আমরা চাইছিলাম না।
Too much.
Philippa, one
Because
second.
there are people.
Yeah, he can come here. Thank you so much. No, ma'am, we're looking for the actors like you. The show is called NDTV What's Your Choice? Okay, it's like an awareness program. He's an actor.
You're also part of it?
Yes, he's an actor. He's an actor.
Really tricked me.
Yes, he's an actor.
Sorry.
So, you know, we go on about the government not doing enough.
অনেকক্ষণ থেকে শুনছি there are people like this, you know, and I'm in school. I bring up kids. So I just thought of intervening.
No, absolutely, ma'am. The show is about people like you. You know.
এখানে frequently আসি, so I never seen him. Then I thought, okay, হতে পারে। আর তারপরে ও এরকমভাবে বলছে, আমি অনেকটা শুনলাম, অনেকটা হজম করলাম, তারপরে I reacted.
No, it's fantastic that you did. You know, you're going to become inspiration for people. So, you know,
I just hope so.
Of course you will be.
Sorry, আর কিছু বলার নেই আমার. It came out so naturally from me. I wish it comes from other people also. You know, this naturally they should react.
We should remember one and the last thing, that we are human beings. We should be different from. I mean, when we use slang, we say "janwar hai." I think they are far better than we. That's what I have experienced from you. They are far better. They don't do any harm unless you harm them. But we do harm without harming anybody.
Now, the emotion and that immediacy of the response by the people of Kolkata is indeed heartwarming. So don't try being mean to the elderly if you're in Kolkata. You'll get an earful, if not a slap. And there's clearly still respect for the elderly there. But is that only true of Kolkata? What about other parts of India? For our next real-life experiment, we go across to Mumbai, where two young boys, our actors, are teasing, just mildly teasing, an old man, also an actor, near a park. Do the people of Mumbai really care, or do they live up to their reputation of being too wrapped up in themselves and busy making money? Let's see.
नकली बांसुरी है कि असली? असली पास हो गया
तो मैसेज करना ना बाद में। हाँ, मैसेज करना।
तो पूछता हूँ।
चलो बॉल फेंकने हैं, तुम बॉल अभी है ना 10-15 मिनट तेरे पास।
15 मिनट तो हुए यहाँ पे।
We set up our scene at Shivaji Park. Our actors are this elderly man playing the flute beautifully, and the two young men who are teasing him are also our actors.
संतरे से अच्छा कुछ और नहीं बना, बॉल ही ला सकता हूँ।
अरे यही खरीदा मैंने संतरा।
मेरा तो बढ़िया है।
बढ़िया बजा रहे हो। चल जाना, खेलते खेलते सुनते खेलते। अरे
बैठे ना। हाउ मेनी टाइम्स आई हैव टोल्ड यू, कितनी बार बोला है कि खेलना है तो मैदान में जाके खेलियो।
अंकल आप बजाओ ना, हमें अच्छा लग रहा है। वी आर एंजॉयिंग इट।
तुमको अच्छा लग रहा है कि खेल तो क्यों, डिस्ट्रैक्ट क्यों कर रहे हो?
डिस्ट्रैक्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, वी आर जस्ट
तुमको लगता है मैं डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो रहा हूँ? क्या तकलीफ हो रही है? खेलना है तो मैदान में खेलो। व्हाट इज दिस नॉनसेंस?
प्लीज गो टू मच प्लेस।
No, we are just
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि जाकर पीछे
That's okay. Actually, we were listening only.
But this is not the way to listen.
Yeah, we just threw it once or twice.
And don't clap. Don't clap. It's not a laughing matter, please.
तुम्हारी क्या अक्ल है क्या तेरे को? नहीं नहीं कैसी बात करता है? उम्र का ख्याल कर। नहीं नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं, उम्र अंदर जाके खेल, अंदर जाके खेल लेंगे। खेलो जाके, ज्यादा बात मत करो नहीं तो वो बजा दूंगा। लेकिन मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ वो बजा दूंगा। ठीक है वो कैसा किया, इधर बजा सकते हो क्या? तरीका तुम्हारा बात करने का? नहीं नहीं जाओ अभी जाओ, निकलो यहाँ से, निकलो अभी, चल चल तो नहीं पुढे तसा बॉल उडवते त्यांना डिस्टर्ब झाला.
The intervention is fast, intense, and in fact angry to the point of possibly even turning violent. In fact, in Mumbai, it only took a few seconds for people to react and intervene to stop that elderly man from being teased. Now let's have a quick look at the result of our All India survey of big and small cities. Surprisingly, 77% of people say that it's not uncommon. It's quite common to see elderly people being teased. We also asked if they would actually step in and help. Interestingly, 76% of men said yes, they would intervene, but a much higher, 83% of women said they would intervene. Frankly, so far in all our real-life experiments across India, and we've done a lot so far, the women of India seem to intervene much more than men. Now, what about even if an elderly person is not really being teased, but is seen to be in some kind of trouble or discomfort? For this experiment, we go across to Dharampur in Himachal Pradesh. Our actor is this elderly man selling lovely Himachal oranges. Suddenly and purposely, of course, oranges spill across the road. Does anyone step in to help him?
बैठे पर यहीं
अच्छा लगी आपको चोट लगी तो वो पीना गरम गरम दूध पीला जी तो ना वो डालेगा ना या हल्दी डाल दो. हाँ जी बेटे हमारे ना हेल्प करना हमारा वो कि हमेशा इज्जत करते रहो क्यों अपने से छोटों की भी इज्जत करो.
It's good to see ordinary citizens stepping in to help elderly people in a little bit of distress. Especially those schoolboys. That was great to see. So perhaps the youth in India has not lost our tradition of respecting the elderly. Now let's go across to Bangalore and set up our hidden cameras in a local roadside restaurant. None of the customers at this restaurant know that this elderly couple are in fact our actors. The young boy and the person pretending to be a cleaner are also our actors.
क्या कर क्या रहे हो? कॉफी पीना है यार, आप कॉफी गिरा रहे हो? जस्ट बिकॉज बुढ़े हो कुछ भी कर सकते हो? हमेशा गन फैलाते हो. तो अभी मैंने देखो उल्टी करके देखा. हमेशा गन फैलाते हो. जाओ अभी, इधर क्यों खड़े हो? जाओ. इंसानियत तो कुछ भी करेगा. उम्र क्यों नहीं यार कॉफी गिरा रहा मेरे पैर में. ऐसा मत बोलना. कुछ भी कर लो. अरे ऐसा यार नहीं बोलना यार. जहाँ देखो गन चलाते हो. हमारे क्या? ये कर्नाटका है, कर्नाटका वाला है. तो
After all the shoppers have changed, we set up our experiment once again.
ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ನಿಮ್ ನಡೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು. ಎಷ್ಟಿದು?
ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡ
ನಾನು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಕಾಸು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮ್ ಕೆಲಸ ನೋಡ್ರಿ.
ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇಸ್ಕೋ.
ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೋಗಿ ಕುಂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ರು, ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಡ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು.
ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸರ್?
ನೀನ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂಗಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕೆಲಸ.
ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಏನೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಏನೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ನೀನು?
ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಈಗ?
ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಕರ್ಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಇಲ್ಲ 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 ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಹೋಗ
ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಅವ್ರ ಕಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾರು ಇಷ್ಟ. ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಕರಿಯಪ್ಪ ನೀನು. ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಲ್ಸ್ಕೊಡೋಣ. ಅದೇ ಬೇಕಂತ हमें क्या बोला, तुम्हें छोटा उम्र वाले, तो छोटा उम्र वाले बड़े आदमी को तुम्हें गलत करना नहीं, क्या तो भी रहा तो उसको छोड़ दे देना। क्या ओल्ड आदमी को तो कहीं तकलीफ देता करता। मैं बोला दूसरा उसको भी हमें क्या भी गलत करा नहीं, इन्हें क्या तो भी ठप करे तो हमें होटल वाले को बोला को पुलिस को बुला तो बोला होता है.
You have to respect elders. That is my aim. That's why I came to fight with you. We both can fight, no? We have strength to fight, but these are old and very elders. They can't do anything. That is the reason. So I give them the respect. I give them the respect.
From Bangalore, we shoot up north to Meerut, where we set up our hidden cameras in the same old chart shop in the heart of the city. Our hidden cameras capture an ordinary family going out for chart. Our actors are two women, the granddaughter and the daughter-in-law, and the grandfather is also our actor.
क्या खाएगी?
टिक्की ले लो।
टिक्की लेगी? भैया एक पहले अच्छी सी टिक्की इसको बना कर दे दो।
एक हमारे भी लगवा दो ना।
क्या लगवा दें?
टिक्की लगवा दो ना।
तुम तो हर जगह साथ साथ लगे घूमा करो। टिक्की लगवा दो। अभी पेट खराब होगा, फिर घर जाके कहना कि डॉक्टर के ले जाओ, दिमाग खराब करके रख रखा है। इसमें सब चीज डली हुई है। बूढ़ों के लिए अच्छी है।
हमें तंग करना अच्छा लगता है आपको?
कुछ नहीं
बस
आराम से खड़े रहो, अब ज्यादा तंग मत करो। खिलाना होगा, हम खिला देंगे।
ये खा नहीं सकते क्या? हम नहीं खिला सकते? तो इनकी आदत खराब है। इनकी आदत खराब है।
मारो आप
अभी नहीं। बीमार कुछ
बीमार तो नहीं है, बुढ़े तो हैं।
बुढ़े हो गए तो बाप थोड़ी करते हैं। बुढ़े तो हम भी हो रहे हैं, आप भी हो रही हो। मैडम मतलब ऐसा है ना, आप बुजुर्ग कह रहे हो, आप और इनमें क्या फर्क है वैसे?
नहीं, क्यों फर्क नहीं है? हमारे हाथ पैर चल रहे हैं।
बालों में मेहंदी लगा
रखे, अभी हमारे हाथ पैर चलते हैं, हम बीमार नहीं है। कहाँ चल रहे हैं? इनके बस खाने के लिए चलते हैं, आते हैं और खाने के लिए चलते हैं इनके।
बात
बस ऐसी ही है, ऐसी नहीं है।
छुट्टियाँ मुझे करनी पड़ती है, मेरी मॉम को काम करना पड़ता है, कोई नहीं देखता ना फिर।
आप उनकी एज में आओगे,
नहीं, मैं तो उन्हीं की एज में हूँ, क्या हो गया?
पड़ेगी सबकी।
यही से हम यही कोशिश कर रहे हैं जानने की कैसे
हाँ जी हाँ, तो हमें अच्छा नहीं लगा तो इसलिए आए ना।
जैसे बात हो रही थी,
काफी देर से बात हो रही थी, मैं सुन रहा था तो मेरे को अच्छा नहीं लगा। बुजुर्ग हैं तो ये मतलब थोड़ी है, ये तो एज के साथ साथ हर आदमी ने बुजुर्ग होना है। हर इंसान को देख रेख की जरूरत है। हर इंसान जवान थोड़ी रहेगा हमेशा।
वही जो इन्होंने कहा बिल्कुल ठीक बात है। जो आज हम करेंगे, हमारे तो बच्चे भी हमारे साथ वही करेंगे जो आज हम उनके साथ करेंगे। या आंटी बोल रहे थे तो मेरे को बड़ा बुरा लग रहा था। मैंने कहा हमारी संस्था ऐसे गुरुद्वारे में हमारे है कि अगर आप नहीं कर सकते और हमने ऐसी संस्था बना के रखी है कि जो लोग माँ बाप को नहीं रख सकते तो हम उनको ले जाते हैं यहाँ पर। तो मैं उनको इन्होंने बताया मुझे ऐसे हो रहा है, तो बहुत मेरे को देख के बड़ा अजीब सा लगा, तो मैं इसलिए आया यहाँ पर। बहुत अच्छा मैसेज आप कर रहे हैं लोग, बहुत बढ़िया है। ठीक है, इससे थोड़ा तो मैसेज जाएगा कि बुजुर्गों को केयर करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि दिन तो सबके साथ आना ही है। जो आज आप करोगे वो कल आपके साथ ही होगा। तो यही कहना है।
Now, so far in every single city, from Kolkata to Bangalore to Mumbai and Meerut, the respect for our elders seems to be alive in India. Let's just try one more major experiment. For our final real-life theatre for today's show, we go back up north to Noida in Uttar Pradesh on the outskirts of Delhi. How much does the ordinary person here really care about the elderly? Do they care enough to intervene and step in, or will they just stand back and watch an old man being teased?
दद्दू पेंसिल बॉक्स लेके आए हो?
बात करें?
चल आया।
मजे लेते हैं और क्या करें, टाइम पास है।
तू शुरू कर भाई। हेलो दद्दू जी।
अरे
दद्दू
मूवी देखने आए हैं?
ना आजकल पार्क कम हो गए ना, घूमने आते हैं।
अरे बताओ यार, मूवी देखने आए हो क्या?
It's not long before others intervene.
बात कर रहा हूँ।
अरे दद्दू
कहाँ छेड़ रहा हूँ यार, बात कर रहा हूँ।
बात कर रहे हैं यार। है ना दद्दू जी?
बताओ यार। बात कर रहे हैं।
अरे बात कर रहे हैं उनसे
यार अरे दद्दू, आप तो हमेशा एंटरटेनमेंट पे पैसे खर्चते हो, आज हम एंटरटेनमेंट ले रहे हैं तो मूवी देख के ले रहे हो, वैसे ले रहे हैं, क्या दिक्कत है ना दद्दू? अरे बताओ यार। आओ दादाजी, आप इधर छोड़ो, आप इधर आओ हमारे साथ। अरे चलो ना। अच्छा आप ये बताओ, मुझे आपसे बहुत बातें करनी है। How's life in the fast lane?
फास्ट लेन? ओह मैन, इनकी फास्ट लेन।
अच्छा अरे डरो मत, बताओ तो।
ओए शक्ल देख।
अच्छा क्या हुआ?
ये सिर्फ इतने बाल ब्राउन किए हैं, बाकी कलर नहीं किए।
बाकी तो कलर कर लेते हैं यार।
It just gets too much for the young men. And watch what happens next.
अरे दद्दू क्या आ गया? अरे बात कर रहे हैं यार, बात कर रहे हैं यार।
This time we have to rush in before things get totally out of hand.
सर तमीज नहीं है। अरे सर
अबे
टीवी शो था, it's a TV show, it's a TV show.
टीवी शो है सर, शो चल रहा है।
सर ये हमारे एक्टर्स हैं, ये हमारे एक्टर्स हैं।
सर ये टीवी शो चल
ये
रहा
हमारे
है,
एक्टर्स
वो छेड़ नहीं
हैं।
रहे।
टीवी शो जाके। No, we are very proud of you कि आपने यहाँ पे देखा और आप इंटरवीन कर रहे हैं। हम इन्हीं लोगों के अगेंस्ट कैंपेन कर रहे हैं जो एल्डरली लोगों को टीज करते हैं और कोई लोग उनको बचाने के लिए आगे कोई नहीं आता है। तो आप आए तो आप तो इस शो के स्टार हैं।
थैंक यू। अरे सीरियसली आप स्टार हैं, कोई नहीं आया। हम तो
अच्छा one second, just give me 5 minutes to नहीं आप
कोई नहीं भैया।
नहीं आप दोनों से बात करेंगे। ये एक टीवी शो है, इसका नाम है व्हाट्स योर चॉइस।
देखिए हम खड़े टिकट ले रहे थे कि वो बुजुर्ग को परेशान कर रहे थे कि आप दाढ़ी नहीं बना के आए, आप ये नहीं करके आए, आप उनको ऐसे मार रहे थे। बुजुर्ग को कभी ऐसे मारते नहीं बच्चे, उनके पोते से भी छोटे थे। तो यही था कि उनको परेशान कर रहे हैं, इसलिए हमने देखा कि किसी को परेशान नहीं करना चाहिए।
जी, आप कुछ मैसेज देना चाहेंगे लोगों को ताकि वो और
मैसेज हमारा ये है कि अपने बुजुर्गों की इज्जत करें और अगर उन्हें एंटरटेन कराना है तो अपने साथ लेके मूवी दिखाएं, कुछ भी साथ दिखाएं अपने, और ऐसे बदतमीजी ना करें जैसे लोग कर रहे थे। इंडिविजुअली खुद भी इंसान देखता है, अगर गलत हो रहा है तो हम सभी को मदद करनी चाहिए। अगर किसी के साथ कुछ गलत हो रहा है, कोई भी असहाय है या वो नहीं कर सकता, जैसे बुजुर्ग थे अंकल, कोई नहीं कर सकता, तो हम जैसे नौजवानों को आगे आना चाहिए। उसके लिए बिल्कुल डरना चाहिए ही नहीं, बिल्कुल भी। अगर सबसे बड़ी बात, अगर हमारा शोषण हो तो अगर हम सह रहे हैं तो हम गलत हैं, सामने वाला गलत नहीं, हम गलत है। अगर हम किसी से शोषित हो रहे हैं तो सबसे पहले हम गलत हैं। आप गुस्सा हो रहे हैं? अरे कोई नहीं यार, सॉरी यार। कोई नहीं गाँव के यहाँ पे ऐसे किसानों के ना, बच्चे किसानों का
काफी तेज था।
ये ऐसी गोलू बोलू और गोलू बोलू हो गया। तो बात नहीं, मेरा देसी घी होगा उससे लगा देंगे।
Yeah, I'm fine. मेरे को एक्चुअली स्क्रीन में दिख रहा है क्या हुआ है। काफी तेज है।
Ouch, that's the first slap that this real-life theatre show has got. And it was really a hard slap. Our poor actor, it just shows how much actors have to sacrifice in their profession. Well, that's it for today. Based on just these few real-life experiments, few but done in different parts of the country, our general conclusion is perhaps that India still is ahead of the world in our care and respect for our elders. Now, would you intervene too if you saw an elderly person being teased, or would you turn away and think, really, this is none of my business? Please send us your views and your questions to ndtv.com/WIC or ndtv.com/what's your choice. Thanks for all the wonderful feedback that's been pouring in on this show. Bye for now.
I hope you have watched it. It was only actings, of course, but there is truth in what they portrayed. Though in India we are known for our love and respect for elders, but we cannot deny that this culture is slowly fading. Many elders are deprived of love and respect even from their own children. It's a sad reality. Therefore, I pray that none of you who are listening to me now will treat so to your parents and grandparents, to your mother and father-in-laws as well. Instead, your parents and elders should feel privileged to have you as their sons and daughters, or as their grandsons and granddaughters, or daughters and sons-in-laws. So before we conclude this, let us remain a minute of silence as a sign of paying honor to all our elders. Let's say a silent prayer for them. Let's say a prayer of appreciation for what they are and what they have been to us and the society, and a prayer of blessings that they may grow old gracefully.